Which JavaScript array loop should you pick, forEach or for? Of. Have you ever found yourself stuck deciding between using forEach or for? Of when working with arrays in JavaScript? You are not alone. Both methods have their own strengths and weaknesses, and understanding them can help you write better code. Let's break down the differences to help you choose the right one for your needs. First, let's talk about the basic nature and syntax of these two options. The forEach method is available on array instances. It requires a callback function that runs once for each element in the array. This function gives you access to the current element, its index, and the entire array. On the other hand, for of is a language-level loop that directly yields each element from any iterable, including arrays, without exposing the index. Next, consider control flow capabilities. The for of loop allows you to use control flow statements like break and continue. This means you can exit or skip iterations based on certain conditions. However, forEach does not support these statements. Once you start a forEach loop, you cannot interrupt it early, which can limit your options in some cases. When it comes to accessing the index and the entire array, forEach makes this easy. You get the current element's index and the whole array right in the callback parameters. In contrast, for of only gives you the element itself. If you need the index, you will have to use additional methods, like entries with destructuring, which can make your code more complex. Asynchronous behavior is another area where these two differ. You can combine for of with async and await to handle asynchronous operations in a sequential manner. However, forEach does not work well with async and await since the callback is not awaited. This can lead to unexpected results when dealing with asynchronous tasks. Performance is also a consideration. Generally, for of performs slightly better than forEach, but the difference is often minimal for most use cases. forEach may be a bit slower due to the overhead of calling a callback function. Lastly, let's talk about readability and use cases. forEach offers a clean and concise syntax for simple iterations when you do not need to break out of the loop or handle asynchronous code. It is perfect for straightforward array processing tasks. In contrast, for of is more versatile for scenarios where you need early exits, asynchronous handling, or iteration over various iterable types beyond arrays. In practical terms, use forEach when you want simple and readable code for processing all elements without interruptions or asynchronous needs. Choose for of when you requiring more control over the loop, such as breaking early, handling asynchronous operations, or iterating over different iterable types. Understanding these differences will help you master JavaScript array iteration and write efficient code for web development.